Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Deercast. Today we've got another fantastic episode with David Freer from the Stalking Show, who is joining us from. You up in Staffordshire, David, or are you up in Scotland?
I am. I feel every day of my life I feel so lucky to be able to live in a beautiful place just on the bank of Loch Fyne in Argyll.
Fantastic! Wow. It's a beautiful place. I've been very lucky to have gone up before with David to Winston Churchill's to do some hind stalking with him, which was beautiful a couple of years ago, and it's an absolutely stunning place. And David has very kindly come on the podcast today to give us tell us a bit more about the Stalking Show and the plans that he's got for this year. And he's just been telling us a bit about it, and it sounds immensely exciting. Tom and I are massive fans, obviously.
And we should say as well, really excitingly, and massive thank you to David on this one. He's kindly offered to host the Deercast at the Stalking Show this year. So we will be somewhere on the site doing some live podcasts, some videos and bits and pieces. So when you're there, guys, come and say hello. And you might go on the podcast. But David, without further ado, welcome.
Welcome. Yeah, thank you very much, gents. Yeah, pleasure to be here. So where do we start? What would you like to know first?
So when did you dream up the Stalking Show? How did that come into being?
Oh, I love that word, dream up. Yeah, you're about absolutely right there. If I tell you the honest truth, it came from, and I'm going to be completely open and frank, and I hope not too controversial, but probably more out of frustration, going to shows that have tiny corners for deer stalkers, and watching the industry grow so much in the last 30 years. I've been lucky enough to be involved in it, to where it is today. So when I started 30 years ago, there was it always seemed like a handful of deer stalkers or firearms holders. Now the industry, it just seems huge, and when I go to shows, which I love all the shows, naming none, but I love all the shows, and I visit most of the shows, I see tiny corners that have a little bit of, it might have just the British Deer Society there and a couple of stands, and that's about it. And so sitting in my very good friend's pub on the bank of Loch Eck about 3 years ago, 3.5 years ago, the Coilet, where Harry's visit on numerous occasions, we are sat in there with my wife, Carl and Sandra, over 3 years ago, and we just looked at each other when COVID first broke out, and we were thinking about new ideas and new things to do and what have you, because we're a bit like that. And we came up, because I've always been into events all my life, and we just said, we looked at each other, Carl and I did, and said, the Stalking Show. And genuinely, that is where it came from. We said that there is so much out there now. We should have a show not just dedicated to the countryside or shooting in general or anything else. There is enough industry and enough people involved to have a hunting and stalking show, and hence the Stalking Show was born.
How many pints in were you at that point?
Probably quite a few, to be fair, and continue to be that way, because when you start on a journey something like this, you get 5 or 6 months down the line, and you have very big highs and lows. You might make a phone call to for argument's sake, let's just say a big company, and they love and relish the idea, and then you make another phone call to somebody 24 hours a day, 24 hours later, and they turn around and say, well, I'm not really sure about that. No, we'll see how it goes. See what you do, guys, and then we might come in, in year 2 or year 3. So you do get some very big highs and lows, but luckily for us, the highs far outweighed the lows. Companies got behind it. Everybody got behind it. Visitors got behind it, and we find ourselves where we are today. And only 1 year in well, 1 year after the first show. I'm actually 3 years into organising, and we're looking down now, 6 weeks to the second show. And I kid you not, gents, we're actually pleased when 6 or 7 o'clock at night comes, almost to get a break from the phone calls and the the interest. So I say that tongue in cheek because we're so delighted. It's been phenomenal so far. And when we go into a bit more depth of where we've grown from last year, you'll understand why.
Well, I think it's just such a great idea, because I mean, Tom and I, before the Stalking Show, we used to talk about like going to the game fair, or to like country shows, or the shot show or whatever, and there was just there was always lots of shotguns and like the dog training, and you'd maybe find like say a couple of stands for stalking, but there was just never any focus around it, and it's just it's such a shame you don't get to go and previously you never got to go and experience all of that sort of stuff. And there was such a great buzz at the first Stalking Show. I think for me, I'll say this a bit quietly because my wife's in the other room and she can probably hear this. For me, it was better than Christmas, and it was just absolutely amazing. Everyone was there. I felt like with the right attitude. There was everything you could want to see or do there. It was everything I could have wished for and more. Yeah. So very excited about this year. And it all seemed to go so seamlessly that even the first one, it just was it like that for you, or were you literally sweating blood the whole time? I imagine it was
paddling under the surface.
Let me give you an idea. I text my wife at night from my bed round about 5 to midnight, and I have to text her to say, "Are you coming to bed yet?" This is, you talk about sweat blood. We never stop organising all the time. There's so much to do. There is a small team of us. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of good help behind the scenes. But like you say, we have plans here that are all written down, floor plans. But as each phone call comes in, that changes, like the sands in the Sahara Desert. 1 minute you've got one bit put in the right place, then you move somebody, and that's not right, and so on. But there is so much to it; it's incredible. It has taken over our lives, 100%. So, but in a nice way, I do enjoy it.
So not that I'm questioning, because I think it's a bad location, but why Staffordshire? What was that? Just literally, you looked at the map of England and went, right, they're sort of vaguely in the middle, or was there a kind of a reason for being there, as in a sort of connection, or?
Answer to the question there, Tom. Very, very easy. So your first point that you said was bang on. Yeah, central. It's not a crazy length from Scotland to get a lot of our Scottish friends down, and it's not crazy. It's not a crazy distance from the south. So pretty central. But for me, what we liked was Staffordshire County Showgrounds got that rural feel about it. It's got plenty of undercover options. So it's got Bingley Hall, the halls at the side. There are actually 3 other halls that we've got the possibility to move into in the future if it continues to go in the same way that it has. We've got more options to move into further indoor facilities. And just moving on slightly, we've already booked with Stafford 24, 25, and 26. That's 2024 5 6.
Blimey.
And we've gone one step further and said that we would like, should I say, and we bought the sole rights to that, the whole site for those dates.
Wow.
So
that's immense.
That is some big news. Book the days off now, guys. You've heard it here first. 24, 25, 26. It's the same dates in April.
Yes, thereabouts within a week. I think we hop around Easter because Easter's always a problem. So we keep we keep away from Easter. Next year, 2024 is the 13th and 14th of April. So thereabouts the same. But we just steer clear of the Easter weekend, simply because it's that holiday time. Kids away from holiday, on holiday, people flying away and things like that. So just clear of Easter. But other than that, yes.
Because you initially started it in a sort of it was just in a smaller showground, wasn't it? And you outgrew that immediately, almost, didn't you?
Yeah, we've got a great memory, Harry. Yes, we did. I won't say the name of where it was because that's irrelevant now. But we when we first came up with the idea of the Stalking Show, we went to another smaller venue down the road, about an hour away, and within 6 or 8 weeks of starting the ball rolling for the Stalking Show, we just literally sat and looked at each other in the office and said, what are we doing? We're starting to ask these really big companies now to come to a place that's just not going to physically manage this at all. And as I think at that point, we then realised that we really did realise that Stalking Show could be something very special on the calendar. So we knew straight away we need to up the game pretty quick.
One of the other amazing things about the Stalking Show for me was that the car parking was, because normally you go to a show and you spend like 20 hours stuck outside in some really long queue, and then someone shuffles you into a really boggy field somewhere and you think, I'm never getting out of this at the end of the day. And then they charge you 20 quid for the privilege of the car parking. Stalking Show, free car parking, proper car park, easy and quick, in you go. You couldn't ask for more.
Well, let's hope it's the same this year. But, I can guarantee that the free car parking will always be there, simply because Staffordshire County Showground, believe it or not, have a policy that any event held at Staffordshire County Showground is free park. If free parking is offered, we do offer VIP parking if you want to walk about 3 yards. But if you can manage 50 yards, you can park in the standard car park, which is and they have their county show held there. I think it's in the sometime around July, and they sort of get 40,000 visitors per day. We're not quite up to that level yet. So, but if we do, we may have to up the game a bit. But yeah, no, the parking's fantastic again, and that was just another plus point of choosing that location. So it's just set up right for the job.
Yeah. So talking of visitor numbers, roughly, what did you get last year? Because it felt absolutely rammed. It felt like there were a lot of people there.
Yeah, delighted. We have to say, our initial hope was to hit that magical double figures of 10,000 over the 2 days. We fell we fell just short of it, and it's no hidden secret. We got to 8,323, I think it was, visitors over the 2 days. Then there was the exhibitor personnel on top of that. This year, it's looking to, we certainly will definitely hit the double figures, and I'm hoping that we'll be between 12 and 15,000 visitors Saturday, Sunday. So
that's a lot of people, bearing in mind this is the second year of the show, if you know what I mean, to have got that kind of level of popularity that quickly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Doing something right.
Yes. Yeah. We've been asked, were we surprised with that? Very, very happy, I have to say. Were we surprised? Probably not so much surprised, just delighted that we got the result, we hoped for. And as you said, the team, not just me, the team that have helped run the Stalking Show, and all my friends behind the scenes. I've got loads of friends, loads of mates that help behind the scenes. They've all helped us so much. So, and it's just it's people like you as well. You guys have got on board right from word go. A lot of the exhibitors and things like that. I can honestly say we've not really had any negative, wherever that support has come from. It's come from positive organisations and people. For Basque jumped on it last year. We went to them with the idea. And you get a big organisation like Basque, they jumped on it. First year round, they came and brought a really big stand. This year, they've jumped straight on and said, you know what? We love the Stalking Show. We're going to sponsor it. So one of our sponsors is Basque. We've got Simpson Brothers and Highland Outdoors. Three, in my eye, massive, organisations and retailers, outlets to have.
So it's so fantastic that the sort of stalking community are coming together around this sort of this show. And I think it's such a big misconception about the stalking industry. I mean, we say this quite a lot, and stalkers in general. A lot of people, you see it on the deer stalking forums, and people say that stalkers are quite difficult people, or that they don't get along, and it just isn't the case. Like, people are so friendly and willing to offer their help, help and support each other and all that sort of thing. And it's just so nice that everyone's rallied around and created this amazing thing that is just great for everyone who goes along.
I think you're absolutely right, Harry. I think there's probably a misconception, because there's a lot of debate about various things. We put a question up on the internet, something about calibers or how we've shot this or how we've done that. Do it. And there's plenty of debate and fallouts and this. Friendly banter, but on the whole, you know what? We're all in the same game together, and I think when push comes to shove, it's a great family community. So, let's keep it together, and I think it's not just for me that's one of the organisers of this, but for the whole industry that we all love and support. So we should support everything that comes along like this. So
I totally agree.
So, looking forward in terms of this year, what you were, before we started recording, you gave us a bit of a sneak peek and were showing us the floor plans with all the people that are coming. And for anyone that came last year, there was the whole of the sort of downstairs floor was full. And I think, am I allowed to reveal that you've also now filled the second floor? So there's, I don't know how many more exhibitors, but do you want to just give everyone a bit of a flavour of what's new this year compared to last year?
Yeah, there's no hidden secrets anywhere with this, Tom. We'll share figures, we'll share numbers, we'll share everything if anybody wants to know what they want to know. So last year we had almost exactly 100 exhibitors in total. That takes everybody into the count there, even down to the food, the drink, everything. This year, we've still got 6 weeks to go, and we've still got quite a few pending that will come forward of various exhibitors. But I can tell you we're up to 165 exhibitors as we sit here tonight. The gallery balcony upstairs, as I showed you on my plan, we've got 55 stands available, and we have sold 49 of those. So I've got, sorry, I'll tell you wrong, we've got, no, exactly 50 gone. I've got 5 small spaces left on the balcony. That's all that we've got there, and I think those are sold anyway, because we've got a few pending just to say yes. Downstairs, a second year round, we think we've done a far better layout and plan. So I have more stands downstairs in total, and we've got a lot of other names that even weren't at the Stalking Show last year. Just to give you an idea, so the big company GMK, they're the distributors for like Tika, Seiko, Beretta. They're a very big company. They sat on the fence last year and said, well, let's see how the Stalking Show goes. They were one of the first on the phone after the Stalking Show in April 2022 and said, we want this stand at Stalking Show, if that's okay. So they're a newcomer to Hawk Optics, are newcomers. There's quite a few. We've got a number of retail outlets. So just to give you again, we have got Simpson Brothers, that one of our sponsors. They've actually gone bigger. We've got Rural Sports from down in Wales that are joining us. We've got Livings, if you know those. They're up on the balcony. We've got oh goodness, my brain goes numb sometimes. We've got New Haven Arms. We've got Steel Target Company.
Did I see Zeiss on your list?
Yeah,
I'm
trying to avoid the ones that were there last year. But yeah, we've got Hogan's, Harkeela, Edgar Brothers, Highland Outdoors, Blazer, Zeiss, Swarovski, Didito Boots, Thomas Jacks, of course, Bailey's, B&D Stalking. They're just a few. We've got several knife makers, Ember Leaf, of course, Revelant Knives. We've got quite a few more in the way of hunting dogs. I've always wanted to try and do a little bit more with hunting dogs. So we've got the German Wire-haired Pointer Group Association. We've got Teckles. We've got I always get this wrong, Corthall Griffons. They're a beautiful tracking dog. The Bavarian Hounds, the UK Scent Hound Association, Muntjac Trading, the list goes on. NGO, Monarch. We've got some African hunting companies.
Oh God, that might be dangerous.
Yeah, I know.
Expensive.
Some of these are fantastic.
Tempting.
Hunters Hill, BSG. We've got some European county deer stalking, if you've heard of those.
Oh yeah. Oh, fantastic. Peter Jones.
They're booked in. We've got Artemis Hunting. So there's lots.
God, everyone.
There really is. So yeah, Night Pearl as well. They're in there. So there's so many.
This is sounding like an expensive trip for us, because neither of us have got any self-control. So, and you've named a lot of brands that we like. So good. Better prepare the bank balance.
Yeah, we're gonna have to be careful.
Yes. Well,
credit card.
There is. Last year, I think it would have taken you, I don't know, a few hours to go round. Make sure you buy a 2-day ticket this time.
Yeah. We have already. We're
And where do you know roughly? I mean, this might be a slightly unfair question to ask on the podcast. Do you know where you're hiding us yet?
I'm not hiding you guys, because you need to be centre of attraction.
I'm not sure about that. People will see us and be like, "Oh my God,
what do they do?"
Yeah. Oh.
I think you need somewhere fairly quiet. There is going to be quite a lot of noise out there. So we've given you the organiser's office.
Oh, that sounds very responsible for us.
Yes,
grown up,
trusting us.
The organiser's office and the tannoy system.
Oh wow, that could be dangerous.
That could be very dangerous.
Yes.
Gosh, that's very trusting of you, David.
Fine. I trust you too implicitly.
You might regret saying that.
Maybe you shouldn't.
Oh dear. So, all of those exhibitors, are there any that you know of that might be sort of releasing brand new products at the show, or are there any that said to you, "Oh, we've got such and such, and we're going to unveil it there," or you're not allowed to say?
I kind of thought you might ask me this question earlier, and I thought, well, how am I going to answer this? Because in answer to your question, absolutely yes. But I am only the meagre one of the organisers of a show. I can't unveil what, for instance, GMK are working on. And so I know factually that there are at least 3 companies in that lot that are bringing new brands. Not only new brands, but new models to the floor or to the table at the store.
My gosh, very exciting.
All I will say is without getting myself in trouble, GMK. So they are one of our, really major distributors there. They were launching something, but it's not for me.
You're not at liberty to disclose that information.
I will be shot. Pulsar. Yes, I've just had a little note passed to me. Yes. Well, you might even know this, Tom. I know Harkeela will be something new to the table. GMK and also Pulsar, and I know there's a couple of. But it's kind of not fair, really, because we mentioned the big names that we all know straight away, but there's some small companies here that are also bringing brand new stuff. So I know there's some. We've got a few knife makers, and they're going to unleash their new models of knives at Stalking Show. So there's going to be a few models there.
Fantastic.
So that's stuff.
Embelief, are they going?
Yeah,
Embelief.
They've got the first stand as you come in the door.
You're preparing yourself, Harry, to make an expensive investment.
Well, they got the very nice folding pail now, which looks very nice.
They do.
That looks quite nice.
Yeah.
But we'll have to see.
So I
have to handle it,
It basically, what I think you're going to see, David, is essentially a bet going between Harry and I, and it will probably depend on which one of us has had more to drink, but which one of us ends up spending more at the show. And the thing is, I don't think we're going to be very nice to each other. We're probably going to be sort of encouraging the other one to try and spend more.
Well,
which could end dangerously.
Well, I think. Well, that's brilliant, because if you get right, you'll certainly need plenty of plastic on you. Forget you'll need the plastic. But just before I forget, I have got some exciting news before I finish. Do you know at the minute there seems to be this sort of bad publicity around firearms and firearms renewals, variations, and applications, and all the rest of it. So we've been working. Me and the girls have been working hard behind the scenes to try and get a bit more to the show and see what we can do around about various different authorities. Are you still there, guys?
Yeah.
I thought I lost it. So we've gone one step further. We've invited, I believe, the 47 licensing authorities, England, Ireland, Scotland, and Wales. So far, we've had a few come back to us. So I can tell you that North Yorkshire, which I've never done one before, a massive issue in police force. Warwickshire, West Mercia, Staffordshire, and Devon and Cornwall have all agreed, touch wood,
that's
to
fantastic.
be at the Stalking Show. But I'm waiting for one or two more to come back to us. So we're going to have one area where the police forces would come together, a table each with and most of those have actually said we're going to set up some printers, and they can literally, our visitors can come in, obviously if you're in that region, and do a variation straight away, and you can literally walk straight out, go to Simpsons or any of our other retailers and pick up your rifle straight off the shelf, job done, and go home. So that's exciting. But even that's one amazing. Step further, we contacted we've been after somebody, not just that, but right at the top of all the police forces, that would actually maybe come and have a chat in our chat room, and we want to really fire some questions at him. So we've managed to track down Inspector Chris Downs. He is the tactical commander, or some firearms commander of the Metropolitan Police, and he's done this type of thing before. And we've put the question to him, would he do it? he would be delighted to come to the Stalking Show on the Saturday. He will be interviewed by Charlie Jacoby of the Field Sports Channel, among others. So I'm going to be one of them. We may even invite you guys to be involved in that. And he is very happy to do a questions and answers all about firearms. So and issuing of firearms certificates. So yeah, so really good news. That I'm delighted with that one.
So I mean that is a huge list of kind of like temptations to get people to the show. So if people who haven't come last year, you definitely need to come this year. Tickets last year, were they how much were they again, David, last year?
Yeah, £12 last year, £12 this year. We've not
bargain.
Yeah, online, obviously, that's online. If you buy your ticket online, we're giving a 2-day stalking trip away with me again up here in Argyle. We had a guy win it last year called Steve Farrow. He was up here with his mates. It's for 2 people. Because he bought his ticket online, goes into a hat, pulled it out, and this gentleman won it. He had 2 days up here, and I think he shot half a dozen between them. They had half a dozen hinds and calves. I gave him the accommodation and the stalking for a couple of days, and we had a great time. He was a lovely guy, him and his mate, and he won that prize for buying his ticket online. If you can buy your ticket on the day, no problem. It's £15. It's £3 more, but you don't get the chance of winning the holiday. So you buy your ticket on the gate, but you don't get a chance to win. We've also got a few prizes actually to give away. I've got to add in there, and this would be just up your street, Harry. We're doing a stag calling competition on both Saturday and Sunday. I've been given a brand new pair of Swarovski ELs 10B42s, 2 grand pair of binoculars. Just get your stag call out and give us a blast on it, or it'll be around about 11:30, 12 o'clock. Get your name down on the list. Free to have a go. Anybody can rock up and have a go, or send me your name and I'll put you on the list. Scott McKenzie from the Isle of Skye, Gamekeeper of the Year, 2 or 3 years running. Fantastic guy. And Rob Crompton from Best Fox Caller judging it. And innovation is one, and best calling is another. So if you use an amazing stag call that you've bought from Europe, or if you use a Pringle tube, or a toilet roll, that's innovation. So
wow,
innovation.
That is extremely tempting.
So we're recording this at the beginning of March. So we've got 6 weeks to practice, basically, is what you're saying, in order to try and win a pair of Swarovski binos.
That's well worth it. That's a fantastic prize.
Yeah, there'll be two prizes. I'm trying to get Tom from Pulsar to give us something special for that as well. But I'll twist his arm a bit more.
Amazing.
Excellent.
I'm definitely going to do that.
Yeah.
Get my toilet roll out when I get home.
Would you have a go, Harry?
Oh, God, yeah. I'll have a go.
Good man.
Why not? Tom's good as well. He does a good row bark.
Do I?
Yeah.
Okay.
Go on, give us a
To be fair, I'm very happy to humiliate myself as well for public enjoyment. So if you need someone to come and make a fool of themselves, very happy to help, David.
Yeah, but it's as we said, I've agreed with the 2 judges that it's not just about the perfect sound. Mm-hmm. It's about the innovation of how somebody gets to what they get to.
Yeah.
So if it's just your hands and you come out with a pretty damn good close second, that's going to beat some fancy 50 quid deer call bought from the other side of the world.
Yeah. Sounds very fair to me.
So I'm conscious we've kept you for a very long time, David, and you've been really generous with your time. But one final question before we let you go, which is, and I mean, you've kind of answered this in some ways already because you've already booked the showground for the next few years. But what's your ambition for the Stalking Show? What would you want it to become?
Very, very simple question, gents. I would love the Stalking Show. and we hit the guys behind the scene here. We're absolutely set on not just making it a permanent fixture in every person's calendar for each year, is to actually go internationally. We want to bring Europeans to the Stalking Show. You will see, I haven't touched on it at all tonight, but you will see at the Stalking Show, we're trying to bring wild boar hunting. Europe, we've got Portuguese outfitters, we've got German outfitters and various. I want to bring Europe to us, to the UK. We've got, there's other great shows out there, amazing shows abroad. There's one going on this week at Iowa in Germany, I think it is. And some of these shows are just like phenomenal. But I want these guys to come to the Stalking Show and look and say, look what the UK can do. Simple as that.
Well, there you go.
Fantastic. Well, that sounds immensely exciting, and we will wait to see what happens with that. But just thank you so much, David, for coming on, and we'll put the link in our description here to go and buy your tickets online. Definitely go out and do that, because it's a very valuable prize going up in Argyll with David for 2 days. That'd be lovely. So thank you very much, David, and we can't wait to see you in about 5 weeks' time.
Yeah,
absolute pleasure, gents. Thanks ever so much for having me on, and we'll probably have another go at this at the Stalking Show.
Absolutely.
Perfect. See you then.
Cheers, guys. Thanks ever so much.
Thanks.